You know that feeling, right? You're scrolling on Amazon and suddenly there it is, the exact thing you were just thinking about. How did it know? It can feel a little like magic, maybe even a little spooky. Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain and demystify the powerful system that seems to read your mind. So here's our game plan for cracking the code. First, we'll get into how Amazon actually gets to know you. Then, we're going to reveal the secret ingredient behind it all. From there, we'll see how it cooks up recommendations just for you, and also how it uses the power of the crowd. And finally, we'll put all the pieces together to see the big picture. All right, let's dive right in. That feeling of being totally understood by a website, it's not a crystal ball. It's actually one of the most sophisticated machine learning systems on the entire planet. I mean, we've all had that moment. You see a recommendation for some obscure thing you were just thinking about, and it's almost startling. That experience is exactly what we're exploring. A system that's designed from the ground up to make shopping feel like it was built just for you. Okay, so if it's machine learning, how does it actually work? Well, here's a good way to think about it. Imagine Amazon's recommendation engine is a master chef. And like any great chef, it's got a whole cookbook full of secret recipes it uses to whip up the perfect suggestions. The official name for this whole operation is Amazon Personalize. And when you see that, you start to get the sheer scale of it. This isn't just about that one little recommended for you box. We're talking about an engine that shapes your entire journey on the site, from the very first thing you see on the homepage to the exact order of your search results. And this brings us right to the core concept, the recipe. A recipe is just a pre-built algorithm designed for a very specific job. It's just like in the kitchen, you know? You wouldn't use a cake recipe to make soup. In the same way, Amazon has all these different recipes for all these different kinds of recommendations. And here's how it all comes together in this really simple but powerful loop. Think about it. Everything you do, every click, every search, every purchase, those are the ingredients. Amazon Personalize instantly picks the right recipe for that moment, and then, boom, it serves up a custom recommendation. It's a cycle that gets smarter and smarter with every single thing you do on the site. Okay, let's look at how this works in the real world, starting with the recipes that are all about you. These algorithms focus completely on your own unique digital footprint. This is where personalization gets, well, truly personal. So the first and most classic recipe is all about your individual taste. It's that, if you liked that, you'll love this kind of model. Amazon calls it user personalization. Let's say you browse for a science fiction book. Suddenly your homepage starts suggesting other titles it thinks you'll enjoy. It's learning your taste in real time. Now this next one is a bit more subtle, but it's incredibly powerful. When you search for headphones, the order of the results you see is completely different from what I see. A recipe for personalized ranking has totally reshuffled that list to put the items it predicts you are most likely to click on right at the top. And this is a brilliant example of how the system thinks beyond just selling you a product. Another recipe actually predicts your next best action. So if you keep looking at an item but you don't buy it, it might just prompt you to sign up for a price alert. It's trying to be helpful, not just make a quick sale. Okay, so far it's all been about you, but the system gets even smarter when it starts to look at the behavior of millions of other shoppers. Let's check out the recipes that use the wisdom of the crowd. And there are two main ways it uses the crowd. The first is pretty simple. It's just identifying what's popular, the trending items that everyone is looking at. But the second one is all about relationships between items. This is that classic frequently bought together feature. You buying a soccer net? So of course it suggests a soccer ball. It's simple, but it's incredibly effective. And it gets even more clever than that. The system doesn't just see you as an individual or as part of one giant crowd. A recipe for user segmentation actually groups you with other people who are like-minded. So, for example, it can tell the difference between casual gym goers and fitness enthusiasts, and then it can show tailored promotions or recommendations to each of those groups. So we've seen recipes focused on you, and we've seen recipes focused on the crowd. But the real magic, the secret sauce, happens when they all start working together. No single recipe is running the whole show. So when you put it all together, you can really see how each recipe has its own distinct job. One's job is to create your For You list. Another is busy re-ranking your search results. Others are showing you what's trending or who you shop like. It's the combination of all of these that creates that smooth, deeply personal experience. And that is the key takeaway. This quote right here really says it all. The combination of all these recipes means that your Amazon experience is being rebuilt from the ground up specifically for you every single second you're on the site. So, what do you take away from all this? Well, Amazon's system is a masterclass in using data to make shopping incredibly helpful and easy. But it also brings up a pretty fascinating question. When a system knows you this well, how do we draw the line between a genuinely useful suggestion and a nudge that feels a bit more like manipulation? That's something to think about the next time a perfect recommendation pops up on your screen.